The heavy oak doors of the courtroom swung open, and I stepped inside, my robe flowing with the measured grace of a woman who carries the weight of the law and the wisdom of her ancestors. I am Judge Ebony K. Williams. I hail from North Carolina by way of Louisiana, carrying with me the resilience of the South, the cool composure of the West Coast, and the sharp, uncompromising edge of a New York upbringing. In this room, the only thing that matters is how I see the truth. I look out at the gallery and the litigants, my eyes scanning for the flicker of honesty beneath the layers of human drama. Equal justice is not just a phrase etched into the marble of our institutions. It is the heartbeat of our country. Freedom and integrity are the twin pillars upon which I build every ruling. I am not here to be a spectator. I am here to be a voice for those who have been silenced, to hold the mirror up to those who have lost their way, and to ensure that from every sector of life, whether black or white, purple or plaid, gay or straight, the law remains a sanctuary of fairness. Today, the docket is heavy with the debris of broken promises and misunderstood intentions. I take my seat, adjust my gavel, and prepare to navigate the turbulent waters of human conflict. The first case on the docket involves a tale of a celebration gone wrong, a testament to how quickly the thin line between friendship and resentment can be crossed. Destiny Delgado stands before me, her posture rigid, her eyes reflecting the sting of a night she feels was stolen from her. Beside her, or rather, at a cold, calculated distance, stands Kirsten Hanks, the woman Destiny once called her best friend. "Miss Delgado, you may speak," I say, my voice steady and firm. "Why are we here today?" Destiny takes a breath, the frustration clearly visible in the set of her jaw. "Your Honor, we are here because one night while we were at a club, my ex-best friend got into a fight with someone at the bar and got us all kicked out. I paid $600 just for us to have a good time to celebrate my new promotion. We were only there for an hour and a half, and she ruined it for everyone." I shift my gaze to the defendant, observing the subtle tension in the air. The energy in this room is thick, heavy with the weight of stank energy. "Miss Hanks," I turn to her. "What is going on here? Why are you in court today?" Miss Hanks clears her throat, her expression one of defensive indignation. "I am in court today because my best friend, or my ex-best friend, blames me for an altercation at the club that was absolutely not my fault. I believe that she should have been able to take my side because she said she was my friend at that time. We fell out, and now here we are. Let us get to the nitty-gritty," I command. "When did you two fall out?" "Miss Delgado, you answer first." Destiny pauses, collecting her thoughts.
"We met in college."
"We were on the same dance team. We were really friends. She moved to North Carolina for a few years, and then she moved back. I was so excited. A couple of months later, I got this promotion, and I wanted to celebrate. I invited her and 4 other friends to this club. We got to the VIP section. I paid $600 for the table and 3 bottles. We were having a good time, but after about 30 minutes, I wanted to go dance. My favorite song was playing. She wanted to stay at the table because her feet were hurting. So I went to the dance floor with our other friends. After a little while, I noticed a commotion at our table. I went back, and she was being escorted out. When I asked the security guard what happened, he asked if I was with her. When I said yes, he escorted me out too. I just paid $600 for us to have a good time, and she got us kicked out in an hour and a half. I looked down at the bench, letting the gravity of her claims sink in. "Miss Delgado, what exactly came with the VIP package?" "It was a section of the tables with some seating so she could rest her feet, which I understand because I have been there," she explains. "And we ordered 3 bottles. I pick up my gavel, holding it as if it were a bottle of liquor. "If you had to tell me how much liquor was consumed in that hour, was it this much or this much? Would you say about half of all 3 bottles were gone?" "Yes, that sounds about right," she admits. "Miss Hanks, let us get your take on this. What led to the commotion?" Miss Hanks sighs, a look of exasperation crossing her face. "They went off to go dance. I wanted to sit in the VIP because my little pinky toe was on fire. I was wearing those stiletto thigh-high boots. I was serving it to the people, but I had to serve it from a seat. I was just sitting there sipping on something, and this man, this Dusty, comes through and sits himself down in our section. He did not have a wristband. I asked him politely to remove himself, but he just ignored me.
I have seen a few of these in my day.
When I asked him again, he put his hand up in my face. Did he touch you? Or did he just gesture? I ask. He tried to touch me after the bouncer came. And then the bouncer comes, and what happens? Security blamed me for what was happening. I felt threatened, so I removed this man's hand from my face. It was probably a little bit more forceful than maybe what I should have been. The man was 6'2", a big dude. He kept getting in my face and talking to me crazy. The bouncer just stood there and allowed him to be disrespectful. I weigh the testimonies. Both women are entrenched in their own narratives. I ask for evidence, and Miss Delgado produces the receipts. The subtotal for the bottles is $546.14. She wants the full $600 back. I review the text messages between them, the raw, unfiltered disappointment of a friendship dissolving in real time. Ladies, I am a big proponent of sisterhood, I say, my voice softening as I lean forward. For some of us, friends become family. It is a shame to see it come down to this. Miss Hanks, I appreciate your candor in acknowledging that you went a little off the rails, even if you felt threatened. But when you are in mixed company, you have to be responsible for how your actions affect others who have invested money in the shared experience. Miss Delgado, you did have half the liquor consumed. Therefore, this court will award you half of the amount. Miss Hanks, you are ordered to pay $300 to compensate the plaintiff for her losses. The gavel falls, a definitive sound that marks the end of their dispute. I watch them, hoping that in the silence that follows, they might find a path back to the sisterhood they once shared. As the court clears, I prepare for the next case. The air seems to change, becoming heavier with the scent of deception. Arthur Rivera, a widower whose eyes hold the quiet sorrow of a man who has lost much, stands before me. Beside him is Desi Lewis, a woman whose outward radiance hides a fractured truth. Mr. Rivera, tell me why you are in my courtroom today, I ask. I am suing my ex-fiancé for $3,200, he begins, his voice trembling with a mix of anger and hurt. That is the amount of the non-refundable deposit for a wedding venue. We were supposed to get married, but it turned out our relationship was nothing but a facade. She is a thief, and you cannot trust her. I nod slowly, signaling for him to continue. I met her a year ago, he says. My late wife had always wanted me to move on, to find somebody else. When I met Desi, she was like a breath of fresh air. She was fun, outgoing, smart, and trustworthy. I wanted a plan for future, to have a home-cooked meal, and to save money. We agreed that I would provide for the family, and she would take care of the house. And when did the cracks begin to show? I ask. When we were 45 days before the wedding, I came home in the middle of the day, which I never do on a Wednesday. I found people in my house cleaning. I thought they were rummaging through my things, but it turned out they were cleaning, which is exactly what she was supposed to be doing. I called her and she lied, saying she was the one doing the cleaning. I later found out from the cleaning company that she had been hiring them for 6 months. I started looking through receipts, and I found out she had been charging me $135 more for her car payment than what was actually due. I looked to the defendant. Miss Lewis, do you have a response to these allegations? Your Honor, I understood that Arthur wanted his house to be taken care of in exchange for providing, she says, her voice smooth. I have no problem with that.
We agreed on that.
I was responsible for keeping the house in order and keeping food on the table. It was a big job and I could not do it by myself. So, yes, I needed to call in some help. I interrupt, my eyes narrowing. You acknowledge he held up his end of the bargain. Do you think you did your part by being transparent? I wanted to tell Arthur. I wanted to be transparent, she tries to explain. But it is hard to get a word in edgewise with him sometimes. I find that hard to believe. Ma'am, I say, my voice stern. I have heard enough. This case is not just about the money, the cleaning, or the cooking. It is about the fundamental breakdown of trust. You have been dishonest, and that is a poison to any relationship. I am finding in favor of the plaintiff for the full amount of $3,200. The gavel strikes again. The verdict is final. As Mr. Rivera leaves the courtroom, he pauses to say that it was never about the money, but about the integrity he was taught to hold dear. I sit in my chambers for a moment, reflecting on the day. In the heart of Los Angeles, where so many come searching for their own version of truth, I am reminded that justice is not just about the cold application of the law, but about the empathy, the patience, and the unwavering commitment to the values that hold us together as a society. I am Judge Ebony K. Williams, and until next time, may the pursuit of truth be the light that guides your path.